Okay. I go live every other Tuesday here on H&D Abroad to talk about taking care and taking care of yourself and getting to know myself and sharing my journey to 50. My name, for those who don't know, is I'm Dee from H&D Abroad. Um, our channel is all about how moving abroad can be a plan A for living a healthy lifestyle and creating generational wealth. So, for those who are new to this channel, we hope that you consider subscribing. Definitely like this video and share in the comments any tips that you have on your journey to self discovery. So, age 50 has been pivotal for me as I am really digging into my physical well being, social, emotional, financial well being, and surrounding myself with people and information that help me to, kind of be on those steps to uh, embracing that life of health and wealth. So, I wanted to start today with some deep breaths. What I am finding is we are fast paced. In the US, you're always thinking about the next thing, thinking about the thing you're doing right now. And especially as Black women, we're like, what comes after that and what comes after that, because we know we have to line up work and family and recreation and marriage and friends and all of the social things that we prioritize. But today is all about you. So why don't we start by just taking some deep breaths. My coach, Naomi, taught us how to take a breath in through our nose, hold it for 2 breaths, and then blow out slowly through our mouths. So, why don't we try that together? So, then hold, and then exhale. Why don't we try that again? Inhale through your nose, hold it, and exhale. Wow, I didn't realize I was holding so much tension in my shoulders, so much tension, or where I was breathing from was in my upper chest and not from my belly. Taking those deep breaths just makes me aware of my breath. Awareness of the breath is a huge part of my yoga practice. If you are not engaged in a yoga practice at a local studio, there are lots of online yoga sessions that publish daily. Um, Nico is who I love to watch. She has a morning practice, a morning stretch break. So it just helps me to connect my body and my mind. Um, I'll share a little bit um, later in some future self care Tuesdays about my attention deficit disorder, inattentive diagnosis, so that you can see why yoga practice, being mindful of my breath is so important in my daily life. So, as we're focusing today on just getting to know yourself and discovering yourself, it might be really odd to think, okay, so you're age 50. Like, what did you not know about yourself the last 49 years? And what I have discovered is this: when you are giving to others and you are um, education and church and just growing your business and moving your career along, that you don't really pay attention to how you're changing. um, Selfies and pictures are really gave me probably my first insight to how I was changing. Because to a point, I was just kind of going along, eating, exercising, living my best teenage and early 20-year-old life. And then I got married. Um, and then after we got married, we had one baby and then we had another baby. And so you kind of begin to lose touch with who you are. And so, yeah, that losing touch was not evident until I started feeling some discomfort, not physically, but emotionally. And I remember when I told my husband, that is usually on this channel with me, um, I'm just beginning to realize the things that I liked when we first started dating are probably not the things that I like anymore. Like, I want to do some new things. And that was the first inclination that it's not midlife crisis. If you're beginning to pay attention to yourself and yourself fully, you can begin to recognize that you are changing. And that self-discovery process is something that gives me um, a little nervousness, to be completely honest. I'm really nervous about, what if the new things are really, really different? What if the new things are more than just preferences? What if, um, what if it's something that I discover about myself that really uh, forces me to change? And that has happened in some areas. And to not be fearful, to really embrace, this is who I am and this is what I need, but also to be on a journey of self discovery means that you are accepting who you are and the person that you are now settling into and bringing to the world. And that shifts and changes. I noticed changes in my 30s as I entered 30. And then I was not ready for 40, because, the things that really got you wrapped up and tied up in my teens and 20s, like, oh, my friend doesn't like me, or they don't want me to do that, or I want to do this for my parents, or a lot of that started to fade. And especially around how I expressed myself verbally, being able to say to my partner, to be able to say to managers, supervisors, hey, this doesn't sit well with me. And sitting deep within my values and making sure that I was working in ways that were complementary to that can feel risky, but have definitely been worth it. So, a couple of people that I wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity on your path to kind of grab some tools and follow your own internal journey is Kathy Hampton. So Kathy has been a part of the Exodus Summit group. She has a channel, I'm sorry. She has a channel, Kathy Hampton, but um, her work is around mindfulness. And so Kathy, every Sunday night, at about 7 p.m. Central Time and 7:30 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, invites us to journal in community. And so that process has helped me to have a designated time to listen to myself. So we have done a variety of things like coloring sheets, just to quiet our minds. Sometimes I have a puzzle. I love puzzles, y'all. Puzzles are a great way to see a process go from many different pieces and then move toward completion and being able to see your progress along the way. Sometimes in my work, it can take years, and y'all, the work that I do does take time to create change. And so being able to have those um, projects and processes that I can have be able to look closely at details and being able to match those puzzle pieces, but then stand back and look at, hey, okay, so maybe I can get a little bit more progress in this other area because when I stand back, I can see those color gradations are complementary and can have success. And then step away when it's not making any sense, but always coming back to a process. Someone else that I follow is Emma McAdams. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist. Her channel is Therapy in a Nutshell. And literally, her little bite-sized 10 or 12 minutes goes deep into, just understanding what is therapy and how can I benefit from just these little nuggets. So the one that relates to our self-discovery topic today is um, a uh, she did an upload of titled "How to Feel Your Feelings," and you would think that really didn't need a whole 10 to 12-minute discussion, but I discovered her 4 principles of mindfulness as a part of that session on her channel. So one of them was to be curious. And some of that is being curious about yourself, like, why do I do this thing that I've always done? Why do I do it that way? Why is purple my favorite color? Being curious about yourself and being curious about the world. Um, Kathy Hampton actually directed me to a card deck by a company called I Am Co. So you don't have to worry about writing these down. I will put them in the description. But I Am Co has this beautiful line of affirmation cards and journaling prompts that are intended to help you to be curious about yourself, to be curious about the world around you, why you think the way that you do, the reasons why you may prefer certain things over others, or what are barriers to you doing a new thing. And so, especially on this channel, we talk about moving abroad as a new thing. And a lot of people have resistance to that, and you want to be curious as to why. I know early on, my parents, especially my mom, even now, is really nervous about, hey, what about the dangers in those other countries? You're so far away. Why do you want to be away from your friends and family? And to be able to answer those questions authentically and really track them back to what you value is first has to happen through you being curious about yourself and then igniting the curious nature that we all started off with when we were children, and that sense of adventure without fear, or even when it's not with fear. That book, Do It Afraid, man, that is changing how I think I need to be settled within myself about a thing. If I wait to be completely calm, I'm going to miss the additional opportunities because I've discovered this one thing about myself. The process of self discovery is building. You're always building on what you know, and discovering what you don't know. And I'm laughing because my dad asked me when I bought my first car. It was a Honda Civic, and in high school, my teacher told me the most gas efficient vehicle was a manual shift. Well, no one in my family, my parents, neither one of my parents had a stick shift. And so I was like, my teacher said that this is a good way to save gas. And so that's what I'm going to buy. My mom's older brother had a stick shift, and in one lesson got me familiar. But y'all, I was not ready. And my sister, till today, laughs me to the ground because I bought the car, drove it off the coasted off of the lot, but could not drive that car home, y'all. She laughed like to tears. But I said I would not be defeated by something I didn't know. Go back in your own history to something you had to do that required that you do something difficult. And there are skills that you learned. I mean, just like straight up, I know how to follow directions for putting a bookshelf together. Or I navigated college alone because I didn't have anyone in my family that had attended school and could give me the ropes for what to do to, complete the financial aid paperwork. You have something in your life that you haven't done before, that you had not done before, that you came out successful on the other side. Think about those things, take pride in them, and then apply those skills more. And the more comfortable you get with them, something new I've never done is international solo travel. I'm taking a deep breath on that one, but there are places that I want to go, even as a married woman, that I want to do by myself because I don't want that to be a challenge area that I don't take advantage of. But I can do that in community. There are lots of solo travel Facebook groups, people who are doing solo travel that post on Instagram and Twitter. So find someone that is doing the thing, and get in community so that you get encouragement and cheerleaders to help you make those discoveries. A part of my self discovery process, especially as I have approached age 50, is self esteem. Some of it was due to, you know, my body's changing, and learning to appreciate that. Tracy Marks is someone that has helped me as a adult diagnosed person with attention deficit disorder to see it not as a stumbling block, but as a way to build myself up. Like, look, I can see the big picture super easy, like big picture, and then can think critically and quickly about what are the things that need to be done to get this done. Being able to do those big picture and little picture outlines is super helpful on my job. And so being able to identify your strengths and then areas that you might feel weak takes a lot of esteem to be able to find value in yourself and to move forward, even when that is not necessarily your, um, leaning into the things that you feel most gifted in. Girl, you are worth getting to know and developing esteem that lasts a lifetime doesn't come from other people recognizing or giving you awards. It really is changing your self talk. Y'all, when I started listening to the things I said to myself that I would never say to another person, that that struck me. That really struck me as um, powerful. That I couldn't be my own best friend, that I couldn't say things that could build my own esteem. And so slowly, I started to be able to say, you go, girl. Like, you get in the mirror and you say it, even though it feels funny. It feels uncomfortable, feels weird, you know, to be able to look at yourself and say, there is good inside of you. And I'm not waiting for someone else to say that. You are so worth that. And it took sitting with myself and being quiet, which I didn't realize a lot of people have some discomfort in, to be quiet and listen to my self talk and to discover how I can change my perspective and to encourage myself and to build my personal esteem has been and is an important part of my journey. I talked a little bit earlier about yoga and breath work, but yoga is also teaching me about um, valuing my growth and strength, but also to listen to my body. So I mentioned Coach Nyambi um, at the beginning of this talk. She's my coach with Black Women's Health Imperative. I'm giving her a shout out because we've been working together for about 7.5 months in a group for Black women. If you all are looking for some health coaching, look up Black Women's Health Imperative. They have been running several online support groups. But one of the things that she taught me was to listen to my body around eating. So I noticed that I get the hiccups when I eat super spicy food. Now, does that stop me from eating spicy food? No. But it was important for me to draw that that parallel between what I was eating and how my body was responding. Things like burping or gas or bloating. You should pay attention to when those things happen and is there a correlation between something that you eat or feeling stress? So we were talking earlier about, feeling the stress in your shoulders, recognizing where you're holding stress by taking those shallow breaths when you're nervous, like sometimes I am in front of the camera, um, you will discover things about your body, like your own signs of dehydration. Whether that is dry eyes or dry lips, where you feel like you have to lick your lips, or noticing that your skin is dry. Um, yeah, there are lots of ways that your body is sharing its needs that it's depending on you to be responsive to. So, self care, self discovery is all about how you can lean into listening, body, mind, and spirit. So, to kind of segue into the last point that I wanted to share is Stephanie Perry actually did two sessions. The one that I want to reference first is the Saturday morning play date for Black women. Y'all, that session took me to a really deep place. Um, because I think we are socialized to say there are things that are only for childhood, and those who are adults don't do those things. And the session was really about tapping into your joy. What were things that you did as a child that you, for a variety of reasons, either just, I'm too busy, I'm too tired, my, body ache sometimes, getting down on that floor and getting back up takes a little bit of, more than a little bit of effort. Getting on that bicycle, it's not always a nice feeling to adjust to, but those are the things that brought you joy. Skating, double dutch. There is a Black women's double dutch group that I'm hoping to go to in Atlanta, but they're all over the country. I loved double dutch as a child. As an early teenager, I loved playing jacks. So I bought myself some jacks. Y'all, leaning into those things that brought you joy requires that you slow down. So I'm hoping that you're recognizing a trend with this self-discovery is you do have to create space to slow down and hear yourself, to be okay with the silence, to hear and lean into what may be uncomfortable, and to say, I'm worth. If I can give my job 9, 10, 12 hours in a day, I can take 2 10-minute breaks to take a walk outside without my cell phone, without a distraction, and really use my senses: smell, sight, touch, taste, because we tasting that pollen out here, and to really tune in, and those things can have a positive impact on things that affect women over 50, and that is high blood pressure, anxiety, depression. I invite you to just take some time to get to know you at different points in your life, because you are worth it. This is my contribution as I am on the road to age 50 that I wanted to give to this community today. So thank you all for joining. I see my friends have joined live. I want to make sure that I acknowledge your presence today. Elle, thank you so much for joining today. Thank you all so much for being a part of the community that is encouraging, and that encourages us to lean into the things that are super productive, But baby, we all need rest. You deserve the rest and the space to be creative and to give the best of yourself first to you, then to your family, your community, and to the world. So that's how we are living our best lives today, regardless of whatever age you are. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Dee with H&D Abroad, where we help couples consider moving abroad as a plan A to embrace a healthy lifestyle, but also to create generational wealth. And your health and your well-being are a part of that wealth. Have a good afternoon. Bye for now.